Hey dancers, welcome back to the Wellness for Dancers podcast. My name is Jamie Chung, one of your favorite NBs, non-binary person. I use gender-neutral pronouns, they, them, and I am your host on this podcast. This is an educational podcast for dancers everywhere, whether you dance for fun as a hobby or you're a professional. New episodes are released on Fridays at 6 a.m. Pacific time, so make sure to subscribe and listen for tips, education, inspiration, motivation, and stories on how to upgrade and evolve your personal wellness so that you can become the dancer you've always dreamed of being and land your dream jobs. I'm a professional dancer, dance teacher, movement director, certified wellness coach, yogi, and certified 500-hour registered yoga teacher, and a self-taught Pilates instructor. I'm a lover and growing expert on all things wellness, health, self-help, transformation, mindfulness, money, astrology, queerness, cats, books, dance, fitness, nutrition, and recovery. On today's episode, we are defining the difference between health and wellness. The healthcare industry is worth $808 billion in the United States as of 2021. It is the largest employer in the US with over 16 million people working in the field. The wellness industry is now worth $6.3 trillion as of 2023. That includes many sectors such as mental health, wellness tourism, and alternative medicine. The wellness economy is projected to grow to nearly $9 trillion by 2028. As defined by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, health is A, the condition of being sound in body, mind, or spirit, and B, the general condition of the body. Wellness is the quality or state of being in good health, especially as an actively sought goal. As defined by the WHO, the World Health Organization, health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Infirmity means physical or mental weakness. As defined by the NIH, National Institute of Health, people often think about wellness in terms of physical health, nutrition, exercise, weight management, etc., but it is so much more. Wellness is a holistic integration of physical, mental, and spiritual well-being, fueling the body, engaging the mind, and nurturing the spirit. Although it always includes striving for health, it's more about living life fully and is a lifestyle and personalized approach to living life in a way that allows you to become the best kind of person that your potentials, circumstances, and fate will allow. According to the NIH, wellness encompasses 8 mutually interdependent dimensions: physical, intellectual, emotional, social, spiritual, vocational, financial, and environmental. My short form personal definition is that health is spoken of the physical body and wellness of the mental body. Health and healthcare is primarily focused on short-term fixes and pharmaceutical medicines that don't always address the root causes of the issues, causing your health conditions to come back, manifest in different ways, or manifest into chronic, aka long-term health conditions. Wellness is focused on alternative and holistic medicines that may not fix you immediately in the short term, but will give you sustained wellness for longevity. So for example, let's talk about inflammation. As defined by Oxford, inflammation is a localized physical condition in which part of the body becomes reddened, swollen, hot, and often painful. If you've ever had a fever or a period, then you've experienced inflammation. If your knees have ever hurt from dance, then you've experienced inflammation of the joints. A quick fix from the healthcare industry would be to take ibuprofen. Ibuprofen is a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug that is used to relieve pain, fever, and inflammation. Taking ibuprofen relieves your symptoms pretty immediately, but if you never get to the root cause, you'll always be taking this drug for the rest of your life to ease your symptoms. With wellness, you don't just ease the symptoms, you get to the root cause so that you can clear the symptoms completely, or at least that's the goal. That's why Merriam-Webster says wellness is an actively sought out goal. That's why we call it going on a wellness journey, because it's a lifelong commitment. Now, take turmeric, for example. If you eat turmeric root, take a turmeric supplement, or put turmeric powder in your food or smoothie, it may not relieve your symptoms of inflammation immediately, but over time of days, months, and years of incorporating it into your diet, you will decrease the overall inflammation in your body and in your brain. I've noticed that in our world, most people just want quick fixes and temporary solutions so that they can go about their day and get their work done. But then lo and behold, on the weekend or next week, they are sick again. Can you think of anyone in your life who's always sick and always popping pills? It becomes so obvious once you take a step back into wellness. Most of my family and friends actually do work in healthcare. It's needed and it's crucial. Healthcare is also critical to our society for emergency services, hospitalizations, mental health services, vaccines, and rehabilitative services for injuries, disabilities, and chronic conditions. I'm here to provide an alternative view wherein I'm a firm believer in wellness and wellness as prevention. The whole idea of wellness is that it's preventative medicine so that you don't have to go to the doctor so much. And wellness is really about personal responsibility. Learn to take care of yourself before you seriously need to go to the doctors or to the hospital. It's becoming more evident in North America that the way a lot of things are designed are not for our benefit, like ultra high processed foods, fast foods, high stress work environments, and capitalism. I think that people do really want to take care of themselves, but society has made it incredibly hard to do so. They don't want us to win. In fact, they want us to die. So more and more, you're actually seeing people really take responsibility for their wellness. They're taking accountability and they're educating themselves within the wellness industry. And that makes me really, really happy. The more people into wellness, the more that we can all raise our consciousness. I believe that if you work on your mindset and you learn to take care of yourself holistically, you will have fewer visits to the doctor's office and to the hospitals. Wellness is so important as a dancer because our body is our job, but your body would be nothing without your mind. I started my wellness journey in 2019 when I was 25, and I would say that I was in decent health, except when I really zoomed out to look at the bigger picture, I was living with frequent migraines, heavy periods, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, and low blood pressure. And I used to make jokes that I spent a third of my life sleeping off migraines, and I missed out on a lot. And it's true. But I really was just a victim to my conditions. I popped Excedrin like nobody's business. It says not to exceed 1 to 2 pills a day, and I'd be popping 6 pills a day. And sometimes they wouldn't even help, and my migraines would not even go away. I complained a lot, and that would just reaffirm to myself that, well, this is me, that's just me. Again, victim mentality. So my mom has been into holistic wellness since I was about 13. And so I occasionally went to the acupuncturist and the Chinese medicine doctor, but I never really felt like they were helping. At the time, I was a teenager. And the truth is that I was in a headspace where I just wanted a quick fix and I wasn't consistent with these treatments. So after one head massage and one acupuncture session, I was like, welp, that shit did not work. It wasn't until the summer of 2019 when I was living in my tiny studio apartment in Highland Park that I knew deeply that something was wrong. I had moved to LA in 2017 to pursue dance professionally, and after a couple years, I really wasn't seeing the progress and the growth that I thought I deserved or that I worked so hard for. I realized it one day after waking up late, running to training at Creative Minds. I hadn't had my coffee and I was a coffee fiend back then because the caffeine helped to regulate my migraines, but it also gave me migraines at the same time. The problem was that I relied on coffee, and when I didn't have any, about 1 hour into a 4-hour training session, I got a huge migraine and I had to leave. And I had been paying so much money to train there. It was that day that brought so much awareness to me. Like, I thought, how would I ever survive a 12-hour rehearsal if I want to book my dream job of going on tour if I can't even last 1 hour? Something needs to change. And that's when I dove deep into self-help books and started changing my life around. I took personal responsibility for my wellness. I decided that I wanted change. And note that I said books. I didn't go to the doctors. I knew that I needed to learn something from all of these people who preach about mindset, positivity, wellness, and taking matters into your own hands. So it was through books and podcasts that I learned how to change my mindset and take better care of myself through wellness. I wanted to increase my flexibility for dance, so I took out a yoga book from the library, Iyengar Yoga. I went on to do my 500-hour yoga teacher training during the pandemic, which took me about 1 year because it was so deeply extensive and it was rooted in history and philosophy. But with my newfound love for yoga, my body and my mind were changing. I was thrilled. I was getting more flexible. I was drinking more water. I cut out coffee completely to help fix my migraines and to save money. I started eating more salt to increase my blood pressure. I started meditating to help with my symptoms of depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. I started preaching yoga to every single person in my life and kind of just became that really annoying person that nobody wanted to be around because I was just going to start telling them what to do and tell them, oh my God, you should do yoga. Yoga is amazing. It changed my life and it will definitely change yours. And it took me years to understand that like what works for me may not work for someone else. But this is what eventually led me back to graduate school where I became a certified wellness coach. It was the next natural step for me, and it made sense in my journey as a firm believer in holistic wellness, including movement and food being medicine. Now, I'm here to share and help other dancers around the world with their wellness journey and offer my unique experiences and knowledge to help inspire you and motivate you. At one point, it was my health that was holding me back until it wasn't. Until I realized deeply that it was my wellness and my victim mindset that was actually holding me back. Doctors could never tell me what was really wrong, so I took that as a sign to take matters into my own hands. And here I am today, the healthiest and most well I've ever been, and booked one of my dream jobs of dancing professionally in the WNBA. And I've still got so much more to accomplish. Key points in wellness are self-awareness, self-regulation, self-advocacy, self-compassion, self-knowledge, personal responsibility, sustainable behavior change, life satisfaction, self-efficacy, sense of purpose and meaning, becoming one's best self, mastery of self, acceptance, knowledge of food and nutrition, habits, willpower, stigma, oppression and intersectionality, motivation, the trans-theoretical model of change, goal setting and SMART goals, rest, sleep, confidence, self-esteem, gender-inclusive care, shame, vulnerability, communication, assertiveness, personality, behavior, independence, positive psychology, gratitude, and mindfulness, to name a few. So by now, I think you're understanding the idea that wellness isn't just for dancers. It's for every human being, but I'm a dancer and you're a dancer. And honestly, I truly believe that everybody is a dancer. And I've always said this. Like, just because you don't train or do choreography doesn't mean you're not a dancer. Those are acquired skills. We all have an innate sense of rhythm and musicality, and our bodies are meant to move through time and space. Wellness is important for dancers, however, because this is a tough industry, and having a strong mental body will be beneficial for your longevity and within your interactions with self and others. You can go to the doctor, the chiro, PT, or any other professional for physical help, but mental health, that takes different kind of work with self and with professional therapists or psychiatrists. Wellness is something you can absolutely get started with on your own. However, I do highly encourage you to also seek professional help through therapy. Not everything can be done alone. We may walk alone, but we shouldn't live alone. And there is help out there for you. Someone is waiting for you. Use wellness to turn your life around, to change yourself from the inside out, to become mentally healthy, which will in turn lead you to good physical health, because we know that change happens from the inside out. Doing so will help you become a better person and therefore a better, healthier, and stronger dancer. I believe in you. Do you believe in you? Dancers, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode on Wellness for Dancers, the difference between health and wellness. I hope that you enjoyed this episode, learned something new, and feel inspired to take responsibility for your wellness. Please don't forget to subscribe for weekly podcasts every Friday at 6 a.m. Pacific time. Like this video, leave me a comment, and share this with a fellow dancer who you think could benefit. I'll see you next week. Bye.